programa ay rated G. Ito ay pwede sa lahat ng manonood.
Good evening, my name is Josh, reporting for YBS News. It is 6:30 in the 15th of October 2021, and I am here live reporting at YBS Main. A terrible typhoon has struck the whole of Iloilo. At first, it began 12 hours before landfall. The rain squalls are more frequent, and the winds do not diminish after they depart. The cloud ceiling is getting lower, and the barometer is falling at 1 megabits per hour. The wind is roaring at 120 kilometers per hour, and little loose objects are flying through the air, while trees are being stripped of their branches. Every storm wave that crashes onshore pushes the sea forward, leaving white streaks and foam patches on the surface. Storm signal number 4 has been raised in the area due to the storm severity exceeding 185 kilometers per hour. Let's go live to Nico, who is currently in Carles, Iloilo, to check on how the evacuees are doing.
When the storm impacted land with sustained winds of 196 miles per hour and even stronger gusts, it ripped off roofs, toppled houses, broke windows, and swamped coastal districts, with an enormous storm surge affecting 4 provinces and 10,436 barangays in 575 municipalities. The storm surge swallowed houses and people, destroyed boats and fishing inputs, and left the majority of homes either completely destroyed or uninhabitable. Iloilo province accounts for 42% of those affected in Western Visayas, with 674,719 people. According to the United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination in Region 6, the impoverished municipalities along Iloilo's northeastern reaches have been the hardest hit, one of which is the municipality of Carles, where I am currently residing. The calamity has wreaked havoc on Carles, a modest town that has been decimated. Together with us here is a representative from the NDRRMC, Mr. Erwyn. Sir, what and how many casualties confirmed as of today's record of updates?
The fishing towns along Iloilo's coast have all but vanished. The small island settlements, isolated from the rest of the world. Many homes have been entirely damaged, with nearly 4,000 others partially damaged, with 2,400 destroyed and 3,142 partially damaged. A strong storm surge inundated coastal communities. Emergency housing, food, and livelihood assistance are now being provided to the impacted residents. This poor town of Carles has suffered a huge amount of damage in these disasters. Houses and persons were swallowed by the storm surge, which also wrecked boats and fishing equipments and rendered the majority of residences unusable.
We just got word of a staggering number of current casualties in Carles, Iloilo. Thank you for coming to see us, sir, and for sharing with us the current situation and the countermeasures that have been implemented for the people. Let's hear from Josh, live back in the studio.
Thank you, Nico. The typhoon made landfall among the Philippines, wreaking havoc among various islands. Many of the poorest areas were particularly hard hit, which worsened their already bad situation. We'll be right back after a break.
Wow, that was intense. So sad to see that there are a lot of people who are suffering from these disasters.
Yes, we are lucky and blessed that we are not greatly affected by the typhoon.
Yes, Dana, did you know that the Philippines is prone to tropical cyclones due to its geographical location, which generally produce heavy rains and flooding into large areas, and also strong winds, which usually results into casualties of lives and destruction of crops and properties?
Yes, Dave, not only that, but since our country is located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, we can't really avoid disasters like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes aside from typhoons.
But what am I curious about that? Is this really it is back then? Like, is it this severe when it comes to flooding? What do you think, Lola?
That's actually a nice question, Dave. You know, back in the day, we also experienced different kinds of calamities. There are strong storms and winds. But to compare our situation now to what happened before, I can say that it is very different.
How different is it? How can you say that?
We didn't experience being flooded before. Or if we did, it was not that bad unlike now, that short rains can cause water to rise rapidly. And we humans are the ones to be blamed. There are a lot of human activities that degrade the environment, which increases flooding.
Human activities? What are these activities that could possibly result in flooding then?
There is deforestation, which causes water to flow down the soil instead of being absorbed by the trees. It leads to landslides and a faster flow of rainwater in rivers. We also handle waste poorly, as waste that is not disposed of properly enters the drainage system and clogs drains, contributing to flooding. There are more human activities, but I don't think I can go on because my heart is breaking while I'm talking about it because I know it's true.
If natural calamities are inevitable, then what can we do to avoid or minimize the impact of these casualties?
Because we cannot truly stop the forces of nature. We can only prepare ourselves before any calamity happens. You must remember how important it is for everyone to know as many preparedness measures as possible. Back in my days, the dissemination of information was limited. There were no concrete calamity plans that are easily accessible to the public. Now, with the help of digital advancement, no one is deprived of these matters. By simply opening any of your social media accounts, you will be able to get a hold of current news around your area. I heard there are also warning systems installed on your phones. You can always utilize those as an additional measure of preparedness.
Then, about the deforestation that you've mentioned, Lola, I assume there are ways that can solve this problem then.
Of course, Dana. The simple tree planting activities that you do at school is one of the most solutions to this problem. Over the past years, a lot of organizations have arranged major activities like the ones in your school. This is in hopes of increasing the number of trees in the country. They hope to educate more people about the importance of trees in our ecosystem.
But Lola, can we really make a difference?
Dave, have you heard about the butterfly effect? It highlights the idea that one tiny change could result in major consequences, no matter how small your actions are. It will make a change when it is done habitually. Young as you are, you should be aware of your environmental responsibilities. Not only does it benefit you, but it will also be evident for future generations. Do you remember what I always tell you both?
Give and take?
Yes, give and take. Mother Nature provides us with everything we need, from the physical shelter that keeps us safe to the nutrients that build us. In return,
We must come together to perform our duties and responsibilities to preserve it.
As our responsibility lies with us being major contributors to Mother Nature, we should pledge accountability for the damages we primarily caused.